Hi folks, you're with Tacitus Today, your pushback channel, and thank you for joining this audio radio live stream. Excuse me. In this essay, I'd like to talk about this phenomenon. I mean, it seems to have almost transcended epidemic and is approaching pandemic levels. Now, I've been to a number of meetings over the last couple of weeks or so. Going and sitting face to face and having meetings. But later last year, I was at a place where, or a number of places really, where white senior type executives, general managers, vice presidents, I don't know what else, sales directors, those sort of people. Now, some of them you'd get to meet as part of the work that we're doing in there, but and most, not all of these guys were reasonably impressive, certainly more impressive than the affirmative action people that get put in those roles, which wouldn't be hardly more impressive than them. But nonetheless, they're definitely a cut above, and some of them are actually quite impressive. Some of them are even really sharp dudes. And I was always surprised when you'd go back in a few weeks later and the guy was gone. The straight white executive guy was gone, and so I try and see if I could sidle up to the CEO, who these guys were typically reporting to, or maybe an EVP, depending on the structure of the company, and just talk about. I thought Jimmy Jack or whoever was doing, Billy Bob, whoever was doing pretty well. And it seemed to me, you seemed quite happy. Look, we thought about it, thought that it wasn't, didn't quite fit, and so we just decided we'd all go our separate ways and sort of thing. Now, okay, well, surely it's got to be a reason, like the guy, he arrived drunk for work, or he was tardy, kept on arriving late, or was lazy or stupid, or grabbing the ass of the girls in the office, something that was refused to accept direction, was rude, like told people to fuck off or something. Or wouldn't do as he's told, those sorts of things. So surely there was something that would. Oh no. Yeah, he was. He was a pretty hard worker, and no, he was. He brought a lot of value. But we just decided that he didn't quite, and it's all very vague, and it's umming and it's ahhing and hemming and hawing and. It just seems odd. That seems unthinkable as a reason to get rid of anybody. In the past, I've had, and do now, in fact, had sort of employees, or maybe they're longer-term contracts or something who maybe I didn't particularly like, or they got up my nose, or they're a bit difficult to deal with, or you had to spend more time convincing them. They had the attitude that they wouldn't accept direction unless you could told them why and would convince them of the merits of the instruction you were giving. Now, when there's a lot of work on, there's a lot of pressure and something that can be a little irritating to deal with. You say, look, Billy Bob, just do what I say. But the guy does good work, and so I'm reluctant to create a confrontation that may result in me having to move him on. So, and I'd rather sit down and talk about it. If I got a problem with someone, I'll sit down and say, look, I don't like the way you swing from the chandelier on a Sunday. Can you please stop that? And I want you to do this or that. That type of thing, and sort it out. So you sit down, you talk, you sort it out. That's my way anyway. Now, sometimes people may say, well, I don't care what you want, you can shove it, and that's fine. I can't think of a time recently what's happened, but nonetheless, I find women are more likely to do that. So anyway, so this came up again. Now, this was last week. There was we're out on a site, and this is a straight white CEO. A lot of them actually are. You think all the CEOs are all black lesbians or something. They're not. A lot of these CEOs are straight white males who are doing this abominable stuff to other straight white males. I don't get it. I mean, why are they so keen to particularly police straight white males when they won't police black and brown people or women to anywhere near the same standard? I mean, if they applied the same standard to everybody, then there'd be like nobody there. So why do they only apply it to straight white males and not to anyone else? I really don't follow that. Only straight white males have to be responsible and accountable, but no one else does. I mean, what sort of anyway? So I had a thing recently, a meeting, and the CEO introduced us this guy who'd been there for, I don't know, a month or two, I guess, and the CEO was almost gushing about this guy. Oh no, we've got Billy Bob, and he's really good, and he does this and can do that, and so on, such and such, and he's a really, really strong and confident presence in this area, and yada. So we're really pleased to have him, and so anyway, we were back there a couple of days ago, and I couldn't see this guy, so I asked, and oh no, he's not here anymore. What are you talking about? So I thought maybe he'd got another job, or maybe he'd fallen over and busted his ass or something. I thought there'd be a reason like that. Oh no, he wasn't. He didn't properly represent our culture or something. And this is being given to me by one of the diversity officers in like the HR department saying this. So I'll take that with a pinch of salt. Anyway, the CEO, I had a chance to chat to the CEO. We ended up walking to his car was parked just near where mine was, so we ended up walking. He had to go somewhere, so we were walking. I said, I'll just walk you out. So we walked along and had a decent chat while we were walking to the car. And I said, well, hey, you introduced us to this straight white executive guy, and you were telling us how good he was and how fantastic he was, and what a fun job he was doing. Oh yeah. Look, I mean, I had a think about it, and I was just, he just didn't kind of, didn't really represent our values, and I don't know. I thought, what did he? So again, I made the inquiries. Well, did he do a bad job or something, or did he commit a crime or something? I mean, if the guy's doing a really good job, why would you sort of get rid of him? And oh no, it wasn't anything like that. No, I just thought, it's just not really a good enough fit. And he was vague, and again, he was just meandering all over the place, looking off into the distance, sort of unable to articulate it, and he just couldn't give a reason. And now you think you'd need a bigger reason to fire somebody. Now, when we were there, we there's a lady who does, an Indian lady with a very thick accent, and she's now she was her desk was just outside the room that we were given as like an operations room where we were working from, and so when the door was open, we could hear pretty much everything she was saying on the phone, and there was like a corridor in between her and the next lot of people. So she had sort of, I suppose, an element of privacy in the desk and area she was in, apart from us being in the room next to her. But while we were there, every time in the meeting room, all we did was hear her on the phone talking Indian and clearly to girlfriends, the way that the patter was going, the little giggles and the people she knew intimate terms with, and typically when the Indian women talk that way, they're talking to another woman. So she's talking to her Indian female mates, her buddies, friends, all day. I mean, every time we were in that fucking room, she was on the phone talking Indian. Now, that didn't mean that because she was supposed to assist us in something, it doesn't mean that when we asked her to do something, she didn't do it. She did. And she's pleasant enough. There was nothing, obnoxious about her. But she's talented, no. High IQ, definitely not. But she again, she was just talking to her Indian buddies the whole time. And you have to wonder what sort of, how she fits into things, because the CEO, when I mentioned, I thought I'll just mention her name and see what comes back. Thanks for getting so and so to help us. Chick has off the planet capability, and she works so hard. She is such a hard worker. Do you know all the things that she's done? And oh wow, she's done this and she's done that, and so on. So now, given the times we've been in there, which is several days over the period of a number of weeks, every time I'm in there, and these are rando times, different times of the day, all I hear is her on the phone to her Indian buddies. That's all, her girlfriends. That's all I hear. So, and if we want to ask her to do something, we had to damn well wait until she's finished that conversation. Any gifts or brilliance she has, I can't find. But so he gushes about this brown chick that does nothing but sit there and do nothing, and yet she's the one that he's over the moon about, and gets rid of the straight white guy that he admits himself was very good and is very good, and did good work and didn't do anything wrong. He's not on the phone all day to his buddies and so on. So this is this is really the landscape at the moment. I think for any straight white male now has to be like a compliant little stooge, maybe, to sort of survive. Because if you stick your head out of the trench I mean, my reading of the situation, this wasn't said, and I'm surmising rather than anything the CEO said. I'm sort of thinking that there's a lot of brown people and a lot of low entry level people at this place, and as there are now in many places, there are so many companies in Australia now where the majority is non-white. So I mean, talk about a stunning change from 20 years ago, and it's being forced on. I mean, nothing's organic about this. That the reality is that there are so many affirmative action, low quality, low qualified people in companies now that there's been whether it's inadvertent or planned, it's harder to say, but it's a decision to slow everything down and lower the common denominator, lower the bar, lower the standards, so that there's a universal, low bar standard across the company, and anyone who exceeds that or goes out above it, higher capability people, which tend to be straight white males, then they're treated as or seen as subversive elements. Doesn't matter how good their work is or what they're subversive from a socio-political perspective, and so they have to be got rid of. And it seems to be that. And so they're not being got rid of for reasons that we would consider in a merit society, the normal reasons why. And so I asked this CEO, the guy he got rid of, well, gee, it was only like a week since we've been here. When did you get rid of the guy? Oh, I got rid of him on such and such a day. I said, well, that was the day we were here, on that very morning. So just get this. On the same day that we were there, and he was telling us how good this straight white male guy was and what a great addition to the company. And on the same day, he got rid of the guy. Just a few hours later, he threw the guy out the door. And I said, "You got to be kidding!" And I was incredulous. I said, "What? I mean, that was the same day you were telling us how fantastic he was, and you actually fired him on the same day." I didn't want to seem too sort of pushy about it because I didn't want him to clam up. I wanted him to talk to me. And so, I had to think about it, and I just thought about it. Yeah. It's so sort of, yeah. There was no, here's the reasons, this is the reasons I did it. It was because of this and that, and he wouldn't accept direction, or he got drunk and vomited in the foyer. So, nothing like that. It was just, I don't know. I just thought I'd better move him on because you've got to be fucking kidding me. Now, the guy himself is the CEO, is appointed. He's a hack. appointed by like the guys from the bagmen from the financial sector downtown. He's their compliant little stooge to implement DEI and ESG. And I'm wondering sort of that maybe one of his masters sort of said, hey, what did you hire that guy for? That straight white dude. He's not the sort of people we want anymore. Get rid of him. What can I get rid of him for? I don't know, fucking anything. Yeah. So now just as sort of in that same story, and to talk about straight white males and how they've been cut loose and cast adrift by the body politic and the public service and everywhere else. Talking to someone fairly senior in the the welfare department, social welfare and social security department, and she's an activist, and she certainly didn't get to her position by being a smart, hardworking person. She got there because she's got the DEI sort of speak and all straight white males are Nazis. She's got all that ideological stuff, and she spouts it all the time. She's probably not the most fanatic I've come across, but she effectively, well, not effectively, she has said directly that the social welfare security system exists for everyone except straight white males. And if a 70-year-old ill straight white male, sick, he's got health problems that comes in, or needs a place to stay, or they'll he can stay at some like you're a straight white male, you've got white privilege. Well, we're not going to help you, and if you've got you'll just have to make your own way in the world. That's it. That's how it is. But if you're a gay guy, if you're a black lesbian, if you're this, you're that, then you don't have that mythical white privilege. So all the resources we collect, from all those hardworking straight white male taxpayers, all the resources we collect, we're going to make available to you, but not to them. So the straight white male can live rough on the street, but the black lesbian is entitled to all sorts of different resources. And she thought, well, that's not sure. She's stating that's it's not their declared written policy. Straight white males get fucked. It's not that. It's there in the ideology of how they deliver services. And this sort of ties in, I think, with this straight white male business in the business sector, or indeed in the government. I mean, it sounds crazy, and as I'm talking about it, this can't be happening, but it is, and it's really the madness that we see around us today. You've been fantastic today, your Pushback channel. Thank you for listening.